Welcome back. 2012 के पहले 3 महीने खत्म हो चुके हैं, यानी the first quarter, and it's been quite a winner. But does Bollywood really have a reason to cheer? बताने के लिए हमारे साथ हैं UTV Motion Pictures के CEO Siddharth Roy Kapur. Welcome to the show, Siddharth.
Thanks so much for having me.
How will you rate the first quarter?
It's been a really good first quarter, I think, for the industry. I mean, you've had all sorts of movies working. You've had one movie crossing the magical 100 crore mark, and you had a lot of films that were not thought as being very commercial, doing exceptionally well at the box office. So it's been a great quarter for the industry.
Well, if we talk about पान सिंह तोमर, अब इस फिल्म में स्टार पावर इतनी बड़ी नहीं थी और फिल्म बहुत ही डिलेड थी, तो आपकी एक्सपेक्टेशंस, UTV की उम्मीदें क्या थी?
You know, it was not really a delay because we were going to festivals around the world, and then, you know, the good part for Pan Singh Tomar was we were looking for the right release date, and we found it. In an industry today where you've got 4 releases every weekend, you've got to nurture small movies.
और अगर first quarter के business की बात करें, so industry's already made about 375 crores on movies like the ones we spoke about. There's एक में और एक तू, there's तेरे नाल लव हो गया, there's पान सिंह तोमर and अग्निपथ, कहानी, hit films.
Absolutely.
Flops कहाँ थी?
Flops to thi. I mean, I would not like to take names because, I mean, no one likes to hear about a flop. I mean, especially those who make it, and we know that as, you know, we like sort of know that as much as anyone else. But there were flops in the first quarter.
So let's go back to what you're saying. लोग क्यों नहीं discuss करना चाहते flops?
When I said I don't want to get into the flops, it just means that I don't want to name them. Of course, in the first quarter, you've had quite a few flops as well. You've had 1 or 2 big ticket flops. But overall, I think as an industry, we need to take pride in the fact that it's been a very positive quarter.
And how would you define a hit? अगर हम सिर्फ इस वर्ड को ले तो क्या ये पैसा रिकवरी की बात है या फिर कुछ ऐसी चीज जो ऑडियंस को पसंद आए?
I think it's both. I think it's got to be a film that the audience has loved and that's been made at a budget that justifies what it has done commercially. So you can have a film that's been loved by the audience but has been made at such a ridiculous budget that the filmmakers have not managed to recover their investment. I would still call that a flop because it's been made at too high a price. On the other hand, you have movies that the critics trash completely, that the audience loves, that's been made at a reasonable price and makes a lot of money. I think when you talk about a hit and a flop, you have to look at the money that the film has made. Because, I mean, people liking or not liking a film is really subjective. But it finally means, are they going and buying tickets? And if they're going and buying movie tickets and justifying the investment made in the movie, you have to call the film a hit.
Paper में आप जब भी देखेंगे film के साथ, whether it's a box office figure there that's about how much the film has made, उसका net क्या है, उसका gross क्या है, and just about DVD sales and satellite rights, there's too much information fed. क्या ये कहा जा सकता है कि audience को गुमराह किया जा रहा है इतनी figures देकर?
See, the information fed is the information that the media wants to feed, you know, the people who are buying newspapers or watching television shows. So I think there's a lot of interest around the film industry. I don't think there's as much interest around the cement industry or around the cable industry as there is around the film industry, and those might be far larger industries. So I think it's just the nature of the business. I mean, it is a glamorous business. Everyone wants to know what is being made, how much is being made. Hits and flops are interesting to discuss across a dinner table. So I think it's become a subject of conversation today. Satellite rights are pretty freely spoken about today, and most people know what a film is made in that market, and that pretty much comprises 75 to 80% of the revenues of a movie. So yes, I think hits and flops are discussed today, and everyone pretty much knows how a film is done.
We spoke about this with Mukesh Bhatt as well. तो देखते हैं कि उनका क्या कहना है इसके बारे में.
Sure.
ये पूरी जो perception का game है कि फिगर्स ऐसी छाक हो, लोगों को लगता है कि ओहो 100 करोड़ रुपए आ गया, 50 करोड़ रुपए आ गया, 200 करोड़ रुपए आ गया, ये सब रबिश है. अगर 100 करोड़ का ग्रॉस कलेक्शन भी हुआ सलमान खान की फिल्म का, प्रोड्यूसर के जेब में 12.5 करोड़ आते हैं खाली, क्योंकि 100 करोड़ में से 50 करोड़ गवर्नमेंट ले जाती है टैक्स में. फिर वो 50 बचता है, उसमें से 25 करोड़ थिएटर वाला ले जाता है, जो 25 बचता है उसमें से 50% डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर ले जाता है. तो प्रोड्यूसर को आता है कितना? 12.5 करोड़. ये सच है. ये कौन बोलेगा सच और कौन देखेगा ये सच? आम आदमी देख नहीं पाता बेचारा, उसको ये समझ है नहीं, मगर गवर्नमेंट को तो मालूम होना चाहिए.
Well, ऑडियंस और वो क्या समझते हैं वो एक बात है, बट यहाँ पे इन्होंने जो कहा कि गवर्नमेंट को भी एक डिफरेंट प्रोजेक्शन जा रहा है, that's something serious, don't you think?
You know, I think he's absolutely right when he says that, because frankly the filmmaker might not be fibbing when he says the film has done a gross collection of 100 crores. But what he was trying to say is that of that, 30 to 35% goes really to the government in taxes. Of the balance that's left, maybe 60 crores, half of that or more goes to the exhibitor. So what actually comes back to the distributor or to the producer is really 30% of that 100 crores, which is 30 crores. So the filmmakers might not be wrong when they're projecting that it's done 100 crores gross, but I think when people read that, they actually imagine that that's gone into the producer's pocket, which is not true.
But these tall claims and recovery of that sort, कहीं ना कहीं फिर वो गलत projection तो जा सकती है. जैसे आप मुझे बैठ के explain कर रहे हैं, is this what is going to happen then? Basically, with every government official, a filmmaker should sit and say, basically, this is the true case. But I will still project for the audience.
One would hope that the government at least would know better, and they would actually know what really goes into the pockets of the distributor or the producer. But if this is creating a false impression, then that is to the detriment of the industry, because as an industry, we've got lots of requirements as far as the government is concerned when it comes to taxation, when it comes to various issues. And if this is projecting to the government that we're making more money than we actually are, then that I think is the issue.
शायद industry के लिए इतनी अच्छी बात ना हो.
Sure.
Would you say that filmmaking today has become a safe business?
To say it's a safe business, I think would not be correct, but to say it's definitely a less risky business than it used to be would be true. So when it comes to music rights, you've got your home video rights, you've got your satellite rights, you've got lots of new media rights today. So actually you are now managing to de-risk your film to a certain extent even before the release. Having said that, this is true more for the bigger movies. The smaller movies will still need to prove themselves at the box office, and then all the other rights can be exploited.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.